There's an article up at infowars.com that just went up in the last 30 minutes that shook me up quite a bit because I've seen this told so many times personally, but also I've seen it admitted to by people like Private Bruckheimer. Back in 2003, he came back from Afghanistan and was talking about how they would go into villages and kill every man, woman, and child. And then the Army came out and clarified on Fox News and said, well, that's true, but only in certain villages do we kill everybody. And they tell them, they say, give up or we're going to kill everyone, including your children, which just makes people fight that much harder. And it shows who the military is. And they're glad that there's record suicides because that just gets rid of the guys with consciences. And then the evil ones get to be your police chief. So and this is a sifting process. The globalists admit they use wars. And we'll actually punch up on screen for folks the article that's up on infowars.com because I want to show this young man to people and get into what exactly happened to him. But he committed suicide, and I wish he wouldn't have done that. I wish he would have committed his life to saving the unborn, committed his life to exposing the globalist. But for a lot of people, it's just too painful, and they kill themselves. And I don't blame them. But it's better to repent and then to say that you're gonna equalize it. And that's the real answer. Again, Saul of Tarsus killed hundreds of Christians and had them fed to the lions, tortured them to death. But then he became one of the great people to stand up for humanity out of that. And that's what you need to do. Do not commit suicide. I don't judge you for it. But you need to understand that your soul says you did bad. You need to make it right by speaking out against it. Let's go over this article here. Iraq vet kills himself. This is up on infowars.com. I want to ask you all to get this out to everybody. Look at his beautiful fiance, beautiful model, blonde chick, the whole 9 yards. Well-to-do family, had everything ahead of him. And he joined the military to fight what he believed was Al-Qaeda. And, well, he found out who Al-Qaeda really is. Remember Norman Schwarzkopf, the rest of his life would just break down crying because he knew he nerve gassed his own troops. They'd say, oh, he's crying. He's such a good guy. He was crying for guilt. Iraq vet kills himself. Schwarzkopf would break down crying if somebody told him what a great job he did, what a hero he was. Because it would bring up, it's like guys I've talked to feel bad when they drive by an abortuary where they paid to have one of their children killed. Years later when they know it was wrong, they drive by and have this incredible guilt. And think about suicide. Why not go and save children? Why not make it right in God's eye and everybody else's and save the innocent? Why not adopt children? Why not they have groups where poor people can have their children adopted, women they're going to have abortions. Why not reverse it? Why not do good? Why not commit your life? The people are so afraid of socially saying no to the New World Order, they just kill themselves. Why not be such a thorn in the New World Order side they are forced to kill you? How about we make the enemy pay? How about we take the country back and put them on trial? How about they die once they've had a jury of their peers? How about you don't die? How about I don't die? How about they die? And I don't even look forward to that. I just want to stop it. Let's read what he wrote here. Iraq war veteran Daniel Somers committed suicide following an arduous battle with post-traumatic stress disorder. By the way, you don't get it as bad if you were doing the right thing. That's been proven. If you believe it was a just war, then it's different. That was caused by his role. People are committing suicide because they don't like being bullies, folks. They think back to what they did. In his role, committing crimes against humanity. That's a quote, according to the soldier's suicide note. Somers was assigned to the Technical Human Intelligence Team in Baghdad, which saw him involved in more than 400 combat missions as a machine gunner in the turret of a Humvee, in addition to his role in conducting interrogations. What were they doing? Gun confiscations, torture, you name it. By people who weren't Al-Qaeda, folks. They were the opposite. They were Shiites trying to defend their country. Somers' suicide note is a powerful indictment of the invasion of Iraq and how it ruined the lives of both countless millions of Iraqis as well as innumerable U.S. troops sent in to do the dirty work of the military-industrial complex. When I come back, I'm going to read to you what he said he did. And, folks, it's kill whole families. And let me tell you, when you shoot up a house and blow little kids in half for no reason, you will do one of three things. One of three things. I'm going to tell you what those three things are right after this quick break. Read the story, infowars.com. All right, your calls, again, are coming up. I need to finish up with a few top stories before I do that, and we'll go back into news. So, Iraq vet kills himself after being ordered to commit war crimes. Why are U.S. troops, active duty troops, killing themselves at over sevenfold any previous record into the Vietnam War? Why are they doing it? It's a cocktail of reasons. They're putting them on Prozac-type serotonin reuptake inhibitors that say on the insert make you commit suicide. Why are they going psycho and killing people? It says it does that. Don't give it to people that are under stress. I mean, it says it on the insert. It's like a pancake box says this makes pancakes. Serotonin reuptake inhibitors make crazy people. But that's good. It makes the public go more crazy. Now mental health gets more money. Problem, reaction, solution. But for a lot of these people that come from good families and good upbringings, they get in the peer pressure and they do all this stuff. And let me tell you, folks, your brain says kill yourself. You're bad for humanity. Now, people that don't, they get promoted into the CIA and they get to put, bombs under the car of Rolling Stone reporters. Or they get to go into white slavery rings. And it's all fun for them. It's a great new future. And we're taught, bow down to them. So nobody stands in their way. But continuing, Somer's suicide note is a powerful indictment of the invasion of Iraq and how it ruined the lives of both countless millions of Iraqis as well as innumerable U.S. troops sent in to do the dirty work of the military-industrial complex. And remember, it's a death sentence to use DU weapons. You're all dead already. You're going to die earlier because of this. You're going to have deformed kids. What are you, 4 times more likely as a U.S. service person to have deformed kids, and they tie in all the people that haven't even been in country? Why would the elite do that? Because they're into death. The worst of the worst get into power now. It's a sacrament to their God to do this, folks. Now let's read what he had to say in his suicide note. The simple truth is, during my first deployment, I was made to participate in things, the enormity of which is hard to describe. Oh, we know. Going into somebody's house and killing their baby. Just don't get caught. War crimes, crimes against humanity, he wrote. Though I did not participate willingly and made what I thought was the best effort to stop these events, there are some things that a person simply cannot come back from. Oh, yeah, we know what they did. I don't know if his unit did that, but let's just say there's a lot of people like to rape kids. I take some pride in that actually, this is very powerful what he says, I take some pride in that actually, as to move on in life after being part of such a thing could be the mark of a sociopath in my mind. So he goes on to say that, you can't come back from something like this, and I'm not a sociopath. These things go far beyond what most are even aware of. Well, yeah, you're not in the club unless you like to kill babies. Let's continue. Up close, though. Somer's death. Somers also complains about how he was forced to participate in the ensuing cover-up. Yeah, Pat Tillman didn't like that too much either, so you know what they did to him. Somer's death serves to refocus attention on the fact that the military veterans are committing suicide in droves after being afflicted with PTSD. That's just a cover for it, folks. They're afflicted with conscience as a direct result of committing atrocities while in combat. As Somers highlights in his note, 22 military veterans commit suicide every day. Amongst active duty soldiers, more than 1 a day commit suicide, a figure that surpassed the number of U.S. troops killed in combat in Afghanistan. And according to some experts, the military may be undercounting the problem because of the way it calculates the suicide rate, reports the New York Times. Examples of atrocities added directly or indirectly by U.S. troops in Iraq include, let's go over these, orders to slaughter all military-age men during some operations, torturing detainees, many of whom have never engaged in combat and were totally innocent, at grisly prison camps across the country. Raping and torturing children at the infamous Abu Ghraib detention facility while they shrieked in terror. Yeah, with battery acid. They raped them with battery acid, I should add. Women forced to watch, later begged to be killed. sodomizing detainees with chemical lights and broomsticks. Well, they ought to get a job on the New York PD or the Chicago PD. It's a new article about the cops sodomizing innocent people with rifles. Indiscriminately firing upon and killing journalists and children. What do you mean? They killed Reuters journalists? They ordered them, man, the tank at the journalist building, kill the Reuters reporters. Massacre entire groups of unarmed Iraqis, including children and the elderly. This is what brought me to my actual final mission. Not suicide, but a mercy killing, wrote Somers, adding that him living any kind of ordinary life is an insult to those who died at my hands. Read Somers' full Suicide Night below, obtained by Gawker and published with his family's permission. I want his family on. Well, I gotta say that I know why he did what he did, but I wish I could have talked to him before he killed himself. Because I've got a mission for you. I got a mission for you. Don't kill yourself and take the easy way out. Commit yourself to fight evil. But I do respect what you did. But it's wrong to see men that have conscience kill themselves while the people that gave the orders and run the whole stinking mess move forward. And they're not just killing the Iraqis, folks. They take people's children and they brain damage them by design. They know full well the vaccines are brain damaging. They're designed to do it. We have a government, thousands of declassified operations, nerve gassing, bioweaponing, chemical weaponing, all of it, U.S. towns and cities in test, just to see if they can get groups to do it. This is their religion. This is what they're into. Our government is occupied by the globalists. And the only reason I'm still alive is because of the fact that they know if they kill me, what I've said is so true and so hardcore accurate that it will only magnify everything I've done. And they still may kill me. And I talk a lot about that because I want you to understand if they do kill me, I'm willing to do this. I'm more than willing. This is a great honor. And I don't understand why these people are killing themselves. You need to ask God to give you a comfort so you're no longer in pain over this, but to give you a drive and a passion. You know, let's say, Somers, let's say you killed in 400 missions. Let's say you killed 10 children. Probably more than that. Let's say you watched as they, raped and tortured women and, did the type of things they do to them. It's unspeakable. Because the worst in the group always leads. Let's say you witnessed all that. I mean, you say you witnessed things like that. Why don't you go and hand out literature in front of abortion clinics explaining that there are groups and organizations. You see those billboards up all over the country? That's just one group that says, abortion, thinking about abortion, pregnant, thinking about abortion. There is help. There are options. And there are Christian groups that'll pay for you to have a nice place while you have the baby and money after. Because they know there's more people wanting kids, black, white, it doesn't matter. Nobody wants the black babies. That's not true. I want to make sure the black babies die. There are people lining up around the block to take care of people. And they're ready to pay you, not to go have some dirty $500 abortion, where it doubles your chances of ovarian and other cancers. No, they're going to tell you at Planned Parenthood, that's run by eugenicists on record, that's waiting. You can go and, just like Ebenezer Scrooge, I want every member of the military out there that's been involved in evil and who has a soul and is tortured about it. You think you're going to get out of this easy? God's not going to let you get out of this easy. Don't be a coward. You don't blow your head off. That's easy to do. I respect your decisions when you make it, but it's wrong. You have a job to do, just like Ebenezer Scrooge. You've got to counterbalance everything you've done. You've got to go out and help people. You've got to go out and help people not commit abortions. You've got to go out and go join the Salvation Army, one of the only few good charities left out there, and go dedicate your whole life to helping people. That's what we have to do. You should go down and warn every person you meet that fluoride is going to brain damage them and massively hurt their children. When I see people, we all just calmly sit there drinking iced tea with fluoride water in Austin, and we all just calmly do it because we're just accepting it, and the cell phone radiation and all the rest of it. We've got to go out and help people and warn people. And you're going to find that once you start doing it, you're not counterbalancing anything. Once you make that change in your heart, you're going to be forgiven by God. And all that you're going to be given after that is the total commitment, and you're going to be serving a mission you were born to serve. That's why you joined. You believed the lie you were going to fight for good when America is captured by a group that makes Hitler look tame in their sophistication. But now you need to join the real army. There's a reason they want you dead. There's a reason they want to give you vaccines and damage you. There's a reason they say veterans are the #1 terror threat. Because they know that you know what you did was wrong. They know that you are struggling if you have a conscience, and they know you could be turned towards good fully. And once that self-powering engine turns on, you will be a great leader. But you've got to ask God a simple prayer to lead, guide, and direct you, and to overtake your entire body, mind, and soul. You have to say, I, under free will, turn myself over to God to be good. I turn myself over now. Don't let the human, don't let the flesh in you think that you've got to figure out how it's going to happen. The doors will open. You've got to say, I've been bad. I repent. Wash me clean. Help me. The reason the Christian churches are dying and falling apart is because they don't tell you the rest of the story to go out and wake people up and go out and help people. They tell you, just feel good and stay here and worship the government. That's a government-run church, even though the preacher may be a good man. You have to ask God to throw you against the enemy. And then God will do it. If you ask God, use me against these evil people, God will rise you up, will raise you up. And it may be small things. It may be taking care of your children. It may be not fighting with your wife. It may be just simply helping your neighbors out. Just not committing suicide defeats the New World Order. And if you turn your face towards God, I talked to so many of these soldiers that are planning to commit suicide, and they just say, I don't believe in God. There's no way God would allow things like this to happen. We allowed this to happen. We were given free will, and we decided to serve evil. We decided to believe the deceptions. So stop committing suicide and stop destroying yourselves. Stop killing yourselves, drinking a bottle of whiskey every night. And I'm not judging you. All of us can get better, and we've got to do it together because the New World Order doesn't have any conscience. Their only instinct is to hurt innocent people. So don't ever think you're just going to commit suicide and get out of this. Don't think God's just going to forgive you when you blow your brains out or take sleeping pills. You've got an accounting to make. You've got work to do to reprieve yourself. And in that lies the secret to defeating this evil. You will be so alive once you commit to good. Once you've proven yourself to God. Once you've gone through adversity, as you've already gone through, and used that adversity. These were tests for you. You know you failed this round. You can win the next round. But you've got to commit. Let's go to a phone call.